Are Villareal really?
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
He's still a side chick, but the side chick is showing wifey tendencies. The side chick is showing wifey tendencies. He is. He is. There's so many ways to do this. But so, guys, look. I mean, we're going to talk about the Barcelona thing again. We're going to address VAR and Real Madrid. I want to talk about Pep and 23. I want to talk about Pep and 23. I also want to address, I might address Lazio as well. I might address Lazio as well. So we've got a jam-packed show for you, and hopefully the other guys will be coming in for the Sunday Hangout, if they do drop in and so forth. But let me just deal with this Barcelona thing. This has been the best performance on the Setien. Based on the pressure, there's been 7 points behind, going away to Villareal. This has been their best performance of the season. Because people say, oh, the performance against Eibar. No, this was the best performance of the season. And look, I went out. I bought broccoli. I bought like that spicy stuff. I got my malt. I was literally about to prepare myself to have a great meal to see the downfall of Barcelona, because I need it for my narrative. I've got nothing against Barcelona, nothing against Messi, but there's a narrative I'm building. And I'll tell you very soon, but there's a narrative I'm building, and I think I wanted that narrative fulfilled because I've got about 6-7 tweets that I've got saved, and I've got like 7 tweets drafted that I wanted just to put out, because it's all needed. But they showed up. Barcelona showed up because see, if you go back to the very beginning, I said that I can see how Griezmann works in terms of how he plays and how he can work well with Messi. And I always said that I can see Griezmann working better with Messi than Coutinho, but you have to play a particular way. And if you don't play a particular way, and if you don't tweak your system to suit Griezmann, it's not going to work, because Griezmann is not adaptable. You have to play a set way, because what Griezmann does is very good, but he's limited in what he does. He's not a guy that can do many different things. He does very few things, but he does also do things very, very particular. He's an intelligence player. He's a good passer. He's incredibly good at decision making. He's very good at combining with people. He's a great, great team player. But you have to put him in his best position. And because if you don't put him in his best position, he does not know how to adapt. And I think the issue that Barcelona have had is that you think you have overrated Griezmann. And you thought that Griezmann is a lot better than he actually is. Oh, this is this World Cup winner. No matter what formation will play, he can be able to come and still say what's up. No. He can only say what's up in a very particular way. And I don't know why that's taken this long. What he did was, we know what Messi can do, but it is too obvious and it is unprofessional if we have these other professional players on our team and every single thing goes through Messi. Everyone wants to pass the ball to Messi. Everyone's looking at Messi. Messi is like, okay, we know Messi, you can do your thing and everything, but look, give Messi a role. And this bleeds into the Argentina problem. Give Messi his role, but Griezmann can bring something to this team. The Cannibal can bring something to this team. Sergio Roberto can bring something to this team. Vidal can. All these guys can. I'm not too sure. Jessica Alba can. So what you've seen is, and this is similar to Argentina, you've given far more agency to other players. And Messi is now trusting other players, and they're now playing as a true team where they are really, truly accentuating the talents of all these other players rather than, I know we're good, but look, just give it to Messi and let Messi just try and run through. You look at the previous game against, I don't know, I think it was against Sevilla. The amount of times or was against Celta Vigo. The amount of times that Messi just wanted just to dribble, holding the ball so much and everything. Like, no. Give it. Share the wealth. Abdullahi, I know I see you in the studio, but I will get you in very soon. But let me just get this stuff out. Share the wealth. And I think by them sharing the wealth, playing more as a team, playing closer to together, far more interplay, and Griezmann and Messi now combining a lot more. It's like, oh, because it is almost like how I somehow play on Pro Evo if I want to be attacking. Because you see, for me, how I play on Pro Evo, or most people get, but Pro Evo is I always go through the middle. I hardly ever cross. So anybody who sees me play or I've played, I always do little quick passes through the middle because I always look for through balls. And if you've got Messi and both Griezmann in the team, you can be through ball merchants. So Barcelona have to be through ball merchants. And that through ball merchantry has to be engineered by your boy Lionel Richie and your boy Sidechick, you know. But let's talk about that goal. Let's talk about that goal. Because people will say that, look, it's Villareal, who cares, and so forth. Let's talk, because see, people thought he scored the first goal, but that was actually an own goal. Let's talk about that goal. That is an incredible goal. Because first of all, the pass from Messi, and again, I know, look, it is La Liga, it's Brick Liga, and so forth. But just on a side note, Messi's passing is pretty stupid. Side note, don't Side note, Messi's pretty good at passing. In terms of pass precision, that's pretty good. But for Griezmann to not only attempt that, for Griezmann to not only think about doing that, attempt that, and actually pop it off, the side chick became a wifey. And I think what Griezmann showed was, this is what I can bring to this team. Trust me. And I think what Griezmann showed here is, I am worth changing the system for to suit me in. This is no disrespect to Messi. Messi will always be Messi. And the thing about Messi is, you can change the system however you like. He'll always be dangerous. So rather than say, let Messi be the ball hog, no, Messi, you have a specific role. Maybe I'll put you further up. Maybe I'll put you further out wide right. Let's Busquets and Rakitic say what's up in the midfield, and give Griezmann maybe that middle crack. Put Griezmann in his strongest position, because Messi as a striker, as a number 10, as a false 9, as a wide right will still get that ass. In this Barcelona team, he will still get that. Put him in any attacking position, he will still get that ass. So put Messi anywhere, but put Griezmann right in the middle. Give him agency and put Griezmann and Messi close together. Let them combine, let them do their thing, and you can pop up, because Barcelona were playing some good stuff. I mean, that dude who I thought was Sergi Bricerto, he was all right. So quality performance from Barcelona. And I just think that, Villareal got shanked. Keep it real, Villareal go shanked. They got twerked. They got beat up. They got shanked. Because guys, how old is Ansu Fati? Do we got look? I know. I see you guys there. Let me just finish this review here. How old is Ansu? Oh, Ansu Fati has the same birthday month as me. This child is 7. This fetus, this test tube baby, this infant, this orphan, okay? This Calypso is 17. 17. That goal was technique. That goal was, because you see, the thing about a goal is, that goal is intelligence. It's all intelligence. I wish one of those racist commentators was commentating this game. I pray your boy Martin Tyler, your boy Graham Souness, I wish, or Jimmy Redknapp, please commentate on your boy Ansu Fati, please, and tell me what pace he uses. Tell me what power he uses. Because you know, the thing about that goal was, if you look at that goal, the goal was there. He was facing right here. It wasn't about the deflection. Ansu Fati bamboozled the keeper because the keeper was like, okay, he's going to pass. But he struck it early and he struck it, but with his body looking there because he was trying to bamboozle the keeper, not knowing. That is pure intelligence. That is intelligence. So it's just intelligence, it's intelligence. Intelligence. Keep your eye on this. Remember, this kid already sent a whole football club called Inter Milan packing. Shout out to your boy Musab. This kid sent a whole Inter Milan packing. Because I told you, see, this is how I roll. I know, I talk about Chelsea and everything. I live and I breathe for ballers. That's why I've got an Mbappe agenda. I live for, give me a boy Mbappe. Give me Zad. Okay? Give me Zad. When he wants to give me Neymar. Shout out to your boy Sergio Ramos. My soul is my guy. It's my guy. My soul is my boy. This kid Ansu Fati. Sue. This is a new name. Sue. We have to keep our eyes on Sue. We have to keep our eyes on Sue. Okay? Because this guy, Sue, is taking a claim. This is 17-year-old is knocking on the door to be a starter for Barcelona. A 17-year-old is one of the best players that Barcelona have. Sue, along with that boy called Twig. But look, man, Barcelona is still living. It's 4 points. There's still games to go because I think if Barcelona had dropped points, it would have been over. So let me bring in some of the guys in here to say what's up. So, Abdullahi, is your mic working there?
Yeah, my mic is working. Yeah, it's working.
Okay, so easy. So Abdullahi, has Griezmann proven that he needs some respect, or was that goal just fluke and luck?
I think it's just one match, so we need to chill on Griezmann a little bit. We need to chill a little bit on Griezmann. Just one match. So, like I keep saying, Griezmann needs to play with the second striker before you can see the best out of Griezmann. So, at the moment, it's showing how it's been like Griezmann is today, play well. Tomorrow, he doesn't play well. It's like flip-flop.
But Abdullahi, that was a crazy goal.
Yeah, that was a good.
That was a crazy goal.
It's a fantastic goal, really good goal. But the problem is, he has to be consistent now for us to see how good. Okay, if you want to take him out of the break now, academic, you have to prove it wrong. Like show consistent performance for we fans watching to be like, wow, we have proven us wrong. Then we can see, yeah, you're a very good player. But at the moment, it's inconsistent. Griezmann may play next week and be flop. So that's one thing about him. He's inconsistent. I don't know if it is Saint-Etienne system or just all about the way.
But will you admit that this is the first game in which Griezmann looked really good and he produced his best performance in this game? Would you agree?
Yes, for me, yes. But he needs to be consistent now.
No. But if this is his best performance, don't you think that he may now be consistent after giving his best performance in this game?
We can't say for now. We can't say. We have to see the remaining matches coming up to see how consistent he is. Because Barcelona can't spend that kind of money, and he's been flop from the beginning of the when he started playing till now. So at the moment, we need to just give him time to kind of gel together. We need to give him time and see how consistent he is. If he's that consistent, then we'll put him in just take him out of the break and put him in some.
Okay. Wait. So first, wait, Red Devil, how did you get this link?
Ask Abdullahi.
Abdullahi, why are you giving links to enemies of the state?
Chill. Red Devil is good, bro. It's good. Just chill.
Oh, so you say it's good. You know the kind of stuff that he's been saying about Chelsea.
It's good. He has his moment because United are playing well this year, so he has his moment. Just give him his moment. United are playing well.
Okay. Wait. Come on. Wait, before I come to catalog, let me just read this. So from where we were. So from your boy Yass's side, it says Man City has lost more games than Arsenal in the EPL. Yass's side, we're gonna have a Pep Guardiola expose.
I am ready. I am so ready.
easy. I'm like, chill, relax, because we're gonna have a Pep Guardiola exposé. So, guys, get your meals ready, please. Okay, I'm doing right now. Press pause. Actually, no, don't press pause because life is better. Just go to your kitchen and start. Catlock, shut up, shut up.
I need to get my meal. I'm a good soup. I'm ready. I need to get my meal.
Are you that much of a technological break? Since when can we stop time, guys?
Shut up, man. No, wait. So, no. Run to your kitchen and just get a meal. Look, guys, the Pep expose I'm gonna have is gonna be because it's gonna be amazing. So, guys, please, I am please, guys, I'm begging you. I've never asked you to do anything. Please get a meal and a drink because this is gonna be a Pep. Because I'm like, you think you're gonna be harsh? We're gonna have a Pep because I'm gonna put
not
up
harsh.
the seats.
Oh my God, I'm not harsh.
Easy.
I'm
Okay,
fast.
so from your boy Just Person who says Fatty outshining Dembreke, 105 mil waste of money. Just Beston, try and win the Europa and get into the CL before insulting another dude. Last I checked, the Us is one of the highly regarded young players in the world, and the Us is better than Greenwood. So don't give me that crap about Greenwood. Gatlock, has Griezmann returned? Is Griezmann now a wifey and no longer a side chick?
Look, first of all, it's just one game. However, Griezmann is a quality player, let's be honest. I always thought that Barcelona was not really the place for him because of the way they play. But in this game, thanks to some rotation, the guy was trying to show what he can really do. And if he can continue this way, yes, he can. If Barcelona will continue to play this way,
Wait, please hold it. Let's not try to. I can't have a meal this late. Daniel Locombo, don't bring that crap to my streams. I don't give a damn how late it is. We have meals on the streams. When I say I'm about to do a Pep expose and you get a meal, you get a bloody meal. Okay, you can get a meal for tonight. Okay, you're not like consuming a special doctor. You can't have a meal. No. Okay, easy, just chill. Either get a damn meal, get a snack, or get a drink. Either one of those three. Thank you. Gatlock, please continue. The heck?
PS, that was Abdullah, not me. That's one. Two. Yeah, like I was saying, Griezmann, look, it depends on if Barcelona will continue to play this way. If they continue to play this way, that would be great. However, they will be coming up against, that's in the Champions League, that is. They'll be coming against other teams who can tear that house open, like you usually say. And if they can really play like this continuously against some of the lower teams in the Liga, sure, I guess they can, do something. And as for Griezmann, this was a good game. This was a very good game. Although this is not the first time he's played this well. I remember the time when Barcelona actually played a team. I think it was in Villareal. Or was it Villareal or Valencia? I know they played a team that they won 5-2. Beginning of the season, Griezmann got like 2 goals. Messi wasn't around. So he had to do something and he did something. So if they just keep interchanging, yeah, Griezmann can be alright. And I feel he's consistent enough to shine. I mean, look, I can't disrespect a guy who scored in the World Cup final. I know it was a penalty, but he was too crucial.
Yeah, penalties don't count, bro.
Penalties don't
count. Continue.
But still, he did well.
Okay.
So Griezmann can do well in Barcelona. So let's just see how it goes.
Has Griezmann turned to a new leaf? Is he a new man, or he still needs to prove himself? Because this was only against trash Villareal.
I don't think they brought. It's just like it's the same case for Ronaldo. Who else is in that state? Lewandowski. All these players, all the star players in all these clubs that they know that the league is theirs. I know the league is not really Barcelona's this year, which is kind of funny because Griezmann comes to Atletico after they won the league, and now he goes to Barcelona right when they're about to not win the league, probably. But look, I think we're going to judge him in the Champions League. That's where when that World Cup format comes, and who knows, since the World Cup format, maybe he'll do well. But when the Champions League comes, that's when we're going to judge all these guys. Okay, the league is high, but the Champions League is where we're going to judge him based on club career. That is.
Okay. Red Devil, Griezmann, has he returned? Is he back? Do we need to show him some love? Or was that just a one in a lifetime show? He'll go back to being useless in the CL.
I mean, I think we can at least sort of say that Griezmann is better than Hazard. You know, we can make that establishment. And
no,
say
not we. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Never assume that people have your same lying, deceitful of opinion. So always speak for yourself.
We should ask the comment section. You know, what do you guys think? Do you think
I'm not asking those because they're biased. Continue.
You know, even Fati. You know, maybe Fati over Hazard. You know,
can you please talk about Griezmann?
Oh yeah, this is a conversation about Griezmann. You know, so it's where his level is right now. His level is obviously above Hazard. Is he a side chick? Is he a side chick? So now, like, I think this comes to like when you pass him the ball, like when you actually give him the ball, involve Griezmann in the game, then he can clearly do things. You know, so it was obvious at a certain time that he wasn't really getting into the game, and you know, Messi at times wasn't giving him the ball. Let's be frank. But in this game, like he was, they're working together. They brought him in the game, and he did what he did. So I don't know. I just think that like Griezmann is a good player, and like when he's incorporated in this Barcelona side, when Barcelona is set up not necessarily to play to Messi's strengths, but around a team, then I think Griezmann can be impactful. It's really simple as that. But if Barcelona are going to set up, or always going to set up with how we're going to benefit or make Messi better, you know, then Griezmann will miss out. You know,
so do you believe that Griezmann can actually make a real major impact for Barcelona in Europe this season?
We're talking so in the CL, you mean in the CL?
Yes.
I think the jury's still out on that one. So I mean, looking at the remaining teams like in the Champions League, you know, I'm thinking, would he be an impact player against the City, against the Bayern Munich, against the? I'm not entirely sure. You know, based on maybe next season, but this season, you know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
All right. So before I come to Sean, your boys yesterday, thank you for our super chat, DSI. He says, didn't Robin miss a penalty in the CL final? But didn't he also win a treble the following season? Thank you. So, you know, so it's basically, what would I rather have? Miss a penalty and win a treble, or never win a treble?
Although, to be fair, Robin has won a World Cup. Oh, wait.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Yeah. Gatlo, very amazing. From Hakeem, who says, Griezmann is better than the overrated Ricardo Martinez. Swap, please. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Sean, is your mic working? I'm hearing a lot of activity there.
It's working.
Do you have an escort with you? If you do, maybe you want to deal with that first.
I do not have an escort.
Okay. No. I'll just ask you because I was hearing a lot of activity there. So I mean, if you want to sort that out before you talk, that'd be great because I don't want to hear your stuff.
Okay, no.
So Sean, easy. Sean. Let me just ask. Let's just keep it moving. So do you feel that Griezmann's goal today, his performance has shown that he can make a massive impact for Barcelona this season in Europe? Has he shown that yes, he can be that dude and that marquee player?
Well, in Europe, that remains to be seen. I mean, he scored the first goal against the crucial goal against Napoli, so there's that. It shows that he was one of the few players in the last couple of years for Barcelona, even though he wasn't there prior, to actually do something positive in the UCL away in a knockout stage game. But in today's game, the way they played, with Messi a little more centrally and also Griezmann, you're playing a little more in front of him and also bearing out right and left, and they were kind of swapping and rotating, a la kind of MSN to a certain degree. But the point was they're rotating and keeping the defense of Villareal off balance. And I think that's how you get the best out of Griezmann. You know, getting him involved early, getting his confidence up. But in terms of making an impact in Europe, what they have to do is they have to continue to play this particular style, get him involved early. Obviously, you can gain confidence by working back defensively, winning balls, linking up well with Messi. That's all going to help his confidence because he is a class player. He can finish. He links up well. He's not very good in one-on-one situations, but if you get him into a team where it's very where they're playing quickly and direct, I think he can be very useful, and he showed it today. And his goal today was pretty amazing. It was similar to what I don't know if you remember Messi goal against Betis last year. It was very similar. So I just think that Griezmann, under these circumstances, the way they played today, can be hugely beneficial to Barcelona in Europe. But it still remains to be seen, and I just want to see him continue to play well. That's all.
Okay. Mutaha, Griezmann, quality goal, amazing goal. The Diaz have not given up on La Liga. Has Griezmann showed that he can truly rise and be a beacon of hope for Barcelona, or was this just a flash in the pan and he'll go back to being a side chick, trash, useless player?
Like first place, right? I mean, to be honest, this is kind of disappointing season from Griezmann. If you see, because that guy has been playing in La Liga from the last 4 or 5 years. To be honest, okay. And for me, I mean, he's always been a reliable goal scorer kind of threat for for Atletico Madrid. And he was really good in his position. And I still believe that guy's really good. I mean, productive player. If you play him in his best position, he can give you some numbers, which he used to give you in Atletico Madrid days. But in Barcelona, you can see there's a clear problem with him. And I think so. Setien, when this like Valverde, because if you see some of his games under Valverde, he was not good, but I'll say he was okay. A bit decent. So he was showing up some numbers, but immediately when Setien came up and he took a management of the Barca Football Club, he don't know how to use this kind of player. So I still for me, Griezmann is a really good player. He's not a world class and all those things where you can rely on him.
Easy, Musa, easy.
No,
I want you to repeat that. Don't just. So let me. Did I hear Caribbean say that you do not believe that Antoine Griezmann, the World Cup winner, is not a world-class player?
No, he's not. I mean, clearly he's not a world-class player. I mean, many times we have seen him cracking under pressure in many big games as well. I mean, he's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's reliable. But do you understand by the definition of world-class? My definition of world-class, even anybody's definition of world-class, it's too I'm big, man, to give Griezmann that role. He's really good. He's productive, I said. I mean, he scored 10 goals this season in La Liga, 9 goals, something like that. Okay, this is his first season in Barcelona, but according to his own standards, it's not that good. I won't say it's poor, but it's not that good. When you talk about this game against Villareal, I mean, first of all, Villareal was in purple patch, when La Liga race started, they were on the 10th position, and even if you see that the defense, they conceded 44, 45 goals this season in La Liga. I mean, your best defender is Raul Albiol. I mean, who rates that guy? I mean, Messi finished his career back in 2011. So, I mean, that guy was washed. I mean, even Ansu Fati, to be honest, Ansu Fati is talented. I'm not taking anything away from Ansu Fati. But, I mean, you can see how Albiol performed in this game. And for me personally, Barca showed up. Definitely they showed up. Messi showed up. And it's nothing new for me, watching Messi showing up, every week or week in, week out for Barca. It's nothing new, But for me, I think it's too late.
No, Bob Montalvo, that was two things. That was a truly amazing goal, and Griezmann looked really good playing with Messi. Can you admit that they combined very well?
No, because this is one-off game, and this is one of the worst defense in La Liga you're watching against. Don't deceive by the position of Villareal, because they were on really hot purple patch.
Okay, so basically, so you're saying, because that's something that I may have sort of noticed, because I don't really watch Villareal as much. But one thing I did see, that is this a case of, because Villareal play more open, no men behind the ball, there's more space. Griezmann maybe looked good, but if they were to play a better defensive team who could mark better or who could mark a lot tighter, Griezmann would find it a lot harder.
I mean, look, tactically, this game was for Barcelona to win, because if you see at the start of the season, right, when we were the really shit, we're shit at shit position, right, in La Liga at that time, attacking even, okay? We were playing with pretty much fetuses. We went there and scored 2 away goals, we drew through 2 as well. Okay, I mean the same Barca team. Okay, so exactly the same Barca team. They struggle against Espanyol away, who was on 28th spot, but they have better defense in a sense than Villarreal. Okay, right now Villarreal have conceded slightly less goals, but it doesn't make sense to me because if you see the way Villarreal play, open football. Okay, the back four is bang average, and there's one like I mean, shit guy. I mean, should I say a brick guy? Raul Biel. So like pretty much. I mean, it's not much of big deal to be honest. Because if you see Barcelona big away game performances, right, in this season La Liga, I mean, you cannot even compare this game to that because there's absolutely garbage. If you see that Messi, if Messi
But
wouldn't be there, no,
but
no,
your
no.
boy says
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
Barca's first win in 5 years at Villarreal.
It doesn't matter because look at the defense stats this season. Statistically, defensively, Villarreal is so ass because if you see the best players for Villarreal attackers, Gerard Moreno, okay, then you have Samuel Chukwueze, even Santi Cazorla. I mean, from Arsenal, I don't know how he redeemed himself, but like he's like one of the best players. I mean, their defense is never considered as good, and especially this season, their ass, back five, back four, yeah. So for me, this is like a mandatory win for Barcelona. Let's see, because for me, I think it's too late now. Because now, even though like they have pretty easy games, like they have Espanyol next week. I mean, in the coming days, but I think it's too late. Yeah, and when it comes to Europe, we have to see because in Champions League there are many organized teams because the spaces. Because look what Barcelona is doing. Barcelona wants to stretch their position defense. That's what did. Messi assist came from the lob, and like Suarez and Griezmann
Okay.
scored. So that won't
Okay.
happen in Champions that easily. So they have to
Okay.
work for it.
So wait, let me just hit the super chat. So from your boy, Josh Beston, who says, Barca fans say Madrid are buying the league. Odd. We're going to get there. And that is a perfect segue.
Excuses,
Easy,
excuses,
relax, easy.
excuses.
Let's easy, chill. Let me bring in. So 4 points separates Barcelona and Real Madrid. And Real Madrid, earlier on, they got the win. They got the win, and it was a very, very tough game. And what's it called? So you have 5, 6, 7, 4 games left. There are 4 games left in the league, and you know what? Barcelona are still fighting. They can still mathematically say what's up. They can still most definitely mathematically say what's up. So there you have it there.
Say Messi is overrated.
77 points for Real Madrid, 73 for Barcelona, 34 games played, 35. So they have got 4 games left. So the discussion that was being had during the game was, it was a very tight. I managed to watch the game. And yes, Inazi Williams might have to go under review. That guy is a pace merchant. He is a pace merchant. But it was a very tight game. Chances at both ends, and Real Madrid were finding it very hard to break down Bilbao. But during a sustained spell of pressure, where they were putting Bilbao under some pressure in the second half, something happened. Referee didn't see it, but then the referee then stopped. He then looked at VAR, and when you looked at VAR, it was a foul. Now, I'm not done yet. When you look at the whole thing, it was a foul. 100%. It was a foul. So you look at it, because again, the guy, he came in and he really stamped on and he found him. And the beauty is that if without VAR, referee would not have given it because it happened too quickly. But he was consulted. They saw it. He viewed it, something that those bricks in the Premier League can't seem to do because they're so lazy that they can't run over to a flipping screen. He went over the screen, he viewed it, it was a foul. So then people then said, wait a minute, what about a foul that Sergio Ramos did, where he was sort of running back and then he then sort of stamped on your boy, the Bilbao dude. And the way I read it is that Ramos was completely unaware. The difference between those two things was the Bilbao defender knew exactly what he was doing because he was facing Marcelo and tried to somehow stop him without trying to give away a foul or give away a foul without the referee seeing. But with Ramos, how do you know what's behind you when you're fully fixing there? You're not even looking back. You're going back and then you just obviously mistakenly stand on someone's foot. How is that enough to give a flipping penalty? And was the ball even coming his way? Which is just crazy. And for me, I think that Barcelona don't you dare open your mouths and talk about referees because I don't
Thank
want to bring
you.
2009. Easy, let me land. Let me land. I don't want to bring up 2009, the biggest theft in football history, where you stole a Champions League from Chelsea, full on theft. One of
11
the
years ago.
not one of it is
Easy.
the biggest robbery in football history. So Barcelona, don't you dare open your mouths. Don't you dare. You have some nerve and cheek to talk about referees. You have some cheek to talk about referees. And I just think that, you know what? You have to just accept that Real Madrid have been excellent this season and it's not over. It's still not over. Who knows what? So many crazy things have happened in football that in 4 games, who knows? Who knows what could happen because 4 points is not 4 points. 4 points is very small. So Real Madrid still have that pressure of having to win again and again and again because I think so Barcelona needs to win like 3 games and that's it, pretty much. Or is it 2 games? Whatever it is. If they can do that, boom, they've won. But for me, I think the introduction of VAR and them buying the league and VAR favoring them, it's stupid. I think it's sad, and I just think that Barcelona should not be using that excuse because I think the fear is Barca fans are fearing that for the first time since I believe 2014, they may finish trophyless. Because if they don't win La Liga, there's a lot of pressure for them to win that Champions League, and winning the Champions League is way harder than trying to make up these 4 points against the Real Madrid, who we know can self-destruct. But I told you guys, I am still picking Barcelona. See, if they had dropped points against Villareal, okay, I concede. The fact that it's dropped points, I can't be fake. I'm not changing my pick. The game's running out, but I still think that something crazy could go down. Something crazy could go down. I just think that I can see Real Madrid somehow messing this up. But we'll also see. So to Abdullahi, do you believe that VAR has given this La Liga to Real Madrid and they have bought the league?
Firstly, the inconsistency of VAR has been shown not in La Liga but all other leagues in the Bundesliga, in the Serie A, and also in the EPL too. So we can't easily blame VAR for giving Madrid the lead for giving Madrid the lead. If people come out and say the king of cheating in the entire football history is FC Barcelona, they should be called UEFA, not even Barcelona at all. Not even 2008, 2009, 2015 against PSG, if I could remember very well. So it's been a long time since then. Barcelona has been getting all this luck and everything, not even in the La Liga, also in the Champions League too. So coming out and saying Real Madrid buy the league, I beg, make an accept defeat. I beg, make an accept defeat. I beg, accept defeat. This year, Real Madrid has been good. So no one should come out and say Real Madrid are not buying any league. If you are that good enough, you win the La Liga. You're not good enough this year. Accept defeat. No one is coming out and saying, no, I don't want to hear any stupid excuse and coming out and saying, no excuse. Clearly, this year, Real Madrid have been better team this year. They have been very better team this year. So no one should come out and say Real Madrid are not buying any league. No. I beg. The same player that is working in La Liga is also the same player that is working in the entire league too. It's working for Real Madrid. It's also working for Barcelona too. So if you are saying Madrid buy the league, I could remember this year. Messi should have gotten red card 3 times already this year. If I can remember Sevilla, I will remember very well. Their last 2-3 matches, Messi stamp on a player, also help a player. That is a straight red card. What did the VAR do? They wave it away. Sevilla also the same thing too. They complained because it was Messi. They wave it away. So don't tell me Barcelona are buying, Real Madrid are buying any league. I'm sorry. No. No league they're buying. It's completely over. I'm sorry. They already won the La Liga. So just accept defeat and let it go. No complaint. Don't come out and say, no. It's completely over. Real Madrid already champion. Congrats. Ala Madrid.
Wow. Damn. He went to the Real Madrid.
Wow.
So, Gatlock, have Real Madrid bought the refs and bought the leagues, and are VAR favoring them, or do they deserve what they have? And Barcelona fans are just crying about it.
First of all, given the fact that I was in boarding school, I never actually watched that second leg in 2009. Something
Man, I
tells me
want
to
you to
go and
watch it.
find that match because
18
I have no
penalties.
idea.
Darklock, please,
It's
I
been
am begging
11
you.
years.
Watch them. It is one of the most disgusting things I've
Disgraceful
ever seen in my life.
referee in my entire life I've
It's
ever seen.
filthy. Basically, you will throw up if you watch the last 10 minutes of that game. Shocking. Go for it.
All right, all right. Look, I don't think. Look, to be fair, when you look at Barcelona, that game against PSG, that biggest comeback, and the Bayern Munich game for Real Madrid, you can't look. Referees have helped you guys so many times, okay, and even with VAR, it has helped you guys sometimes. It hasn't helped you guys sometimes, although it mostly helps both Real Madrid and Barcelona. Now, Barcelona, I know you're not used to this. It's understandable for you to try and find a fault, but this is kind of pathetic because you guys have been shit. Okay, you are second for a reason. Okay, and you are struggling against Napoli for a reason. You guys have been shit, although for some reason you are 4 points behind, which kind of shows you how the La Liga has been this season. Real Madrid have not been lucky. I feel because when I watch some of their games, they have had like 1-0 wins for like 3 times in a row now. And I know majority of that is mostly penalties, if I'm not mistaken, with Ramos. I think it's because those are the only goals they are scoring to win. That's the reason why people are feeling like, oh, they are cheating and stuff like that. But look, decisions go for many teams and it doesn't go for many other teams. Okay, it happens. I watched that Carvajal penalty that he won. It was a penalty. Even the Marcelo one. I even tweeted it on
Yeah.
your stuff that I really did not think that was a penalty. However, when they played it back, the stamp was clear. So the decisions have actually been legit. I really don't know what they're moaning about. I get it. You're angry at the fact that you're behind at this time of the season and you probably will not win any league because you guys got dumped out of the Copa del Rey by Athletic Bilbao. Look, it happens. Just go for the Champions League, or don't try and go for the La Liga as much as you can until it's
So,
over.
so
But
do you
it's
still
not
think they
Real
have it?
Madrid's
Okay, how
fault.
much chance do you think they have in the La Liga, or do you think it's over? Do you believe
Personally, I
in
think
Real
it's
Madrid
over.
self-destructing?
I highly doubt it because there's something different about this Real Madrid team. They are by hook or by crook, they are finding a way to win. Okay, they've only considered 2 goals in this return. They are not conceding double it. They are not conceding. I think this is like the best defense in the whole of
But
Europe's top leagues right now.
Ramos is suspended for the next game.
But they have Militao. They have Militao. That dude was impressive today. He was impressive. He was good. I don't know who's. Hold on, is Varane back? Is Varane back?
I think is it back,
No,
Muta?
he'll be back. He'll be back. They're saying he'll be back.
Okay,
Yeah.
if he'll be back, then Varane and Militao should be enough. If he ain't gonna be back, then I have no idea who they're going to put beside him. But I feel Real Madrid defensively should be good. I don't think their fixtures is that tough. I think Bilbao was their last tough fixture
I mean,
that
I
they'd
think
be like,
that's they've got Alaves, Granada, Villarreal, Leganes. So you may say Villarreal is the
okay.
toughest game next.
But you see, that's the thing. Because they are 4 points ahead, they can afford one loss or one draw. Or 2 draws, basically. They can afford 2 draws or one loss. And that's it. They don't need to win all their games. Barca need to win all their games. Today they were impressive. And hopefully they can continue for the rest of the season for it to be interesting. But I think Real Madrid have got this. I don't think they are losing because even if they don't score too much, they are not letting anything at the back, and that's what is going to help them to clinch the title
Okay.
for me.
Actually, let me just get this before I come to your boy Red Devil. So from Miss B Nation, thank you for the super jumps to Miss B Nation. Barcelona had 2 seasons without getting penalties called against. They had guys like Mascherano, Alba, who fouled so many times. Look, as I say again, we're not here to do the comparison of decisions and so forth because sometimes you get and sometimes you don't. But for instance, if let's say Liverpool or Bayern Munich or PSG said, "Oh my gosh, these guys they get decisions against us." I'm like, okay, but the fact that it is known that for many years Barcelona were favored. They were favored with some very iffy decisions, hence why they got the name UEFA Lona. I think that it is they're like basically they're like one of the worst teams to come out and say, "Oh, the referees are for them." Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. Please don't. Red Devil Studio. Are Real Madrid cheating? Are they using? Do they own? Do they have a stake in VAR?
Oh, come on! I don't. The fact that even this question is even if this asked is just purely it's just ridiculous. So even when in the EPL, when I think when Liverpool was succeeding and people were saying Liverpool, they were getting the VAR decisions, etc. And you're like, but most of these decisions, if not 90%, are legit decisions. They're the correct decisions at the end of the day. So and I've always been. I make no apologies for actually being a big fan of VAR. Do I think the Premier League and do I think it still needs work at times? Yes, I do. But has it eliminated a lot of wrong decisions that would have been called usually? Yes, it has. So for Barcelona to accuse, well, it's not Barcelona, but for certain groups to accuse Real Madrid of paying the VAR officials, doesn't it kind of show? Well, if VAR is now helping Real Madrid, then the question should be then when it wasn't there, it was then helping Barcelona then by default, because that's kind of what you're inferring. You're inferring that the existence of VAR is helping Madrid. So if VAR wasn't there, then it would have been helping Barcelona. So it doesn't make sense either way. It doesn't explain why Barcelona are where they are, frankly. So like it's just nonsense. Just take the L. Unfortunately, I don't think Barcelona are going to win the Liga or win the Champions League. In fact, I don't even know whether any Spanish teams are any Spanish teams really favourites to win the CL. Madrid, Barca, Atletico,
Basically,
Atletico are super strong.
All I'm saying with it, for me, put it this way, and people will call me crazy. I believe Barcelona have a much better chance of winning the Champions League than Real Madrid do. Call me crazy, but if Barcelona come through against Napoli,
Because they're facing Napoli. That's why.
I just believe that by people completely disregarding Barcelona, that is very dangerous and a underrated and a Barcelona team that you completely underestimate. That's a dangerous Barcelona, a very dangerous Barcelona.
I agree with that because you should also put some respect to Napoli too. If you're telling Barcelona is favorite, you should also respect Napoli. Gattuso is doing a good job for Napoli, so you can't just get up.
Napoli are not beating Barcelona. And
No.
I'll lie to you. I'll lie to you, Abdullahi.
It's not happening.
I'll lie to you, Abdullahi. I've stopped respecting Serie A teams from now.
Easy. Okay, let me bring in boy Sean. So Sean, are Real Madrid cheating?
No, they're not cheating. And, the calls go both ways. I know a lot of Barca fans, including myself, in the heat of the moment during the Madrid games when they get a call and the ref goes back and looks at it and it is a foul. And then they were talking about how Ramos was stamping on the Bilbao player. But if you actually look at the play, he was offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. So, I mean, if you look at it both ways, big teams get calls. So a lot of the times in the heat of the moment, Barca fans are going to be a little upset. But what I don't understand is how we're going back, 10 years, 5 years, 4 years, and we're looking at particular calls. We're not taking into account all 38 games. And we're saying Barcelona were cheaters then, and you're inferring that, okay, if there was no VAR, then Barca were automatically somehow benefiting from it. But the fact is, it was an equal footing then there too. Like, you're not taking into account all the games Real Madrid played. So unless you can go back and analyze every single match, Red Devil Studio, you can't just say Barcelona were being favored. I don't. Yeah,
that's not my point. My point is just that, like, if Barcelona fans are saying that the introduction of VAR, that Madrid fans have somehow bought the officials, like insane.
Right, then there's an inference that it goes the opposite way. When in reality, it's not black and white. There's a lot of gray area here.
Yeah, I agree.
So Barcelona simply haven't been good enough, especially defensively. If you look at Real Madrid defensively, they've been one of the best defensive teams in Europe. And out of the top 5 leagues, the Liga has been, the best league in terms of conceding goals. They've conceded the least amount of goals out of all the top 5. So it's a really tough league. Barcelona have had their injury problems. So have Madrid, but Madrid have more depth, and over a 38-game league campaign, they've been better. Messi missed 2 months as well. That was a detriment to Dembele being injured. The managerial change, which it has a huge effect in the locker room and chemistry. And all of those things taking into account is why Real Madrid are more than likely, like 95% chance, probably going to win the Liga, which is the first time since 2014. So I understand why Barcelona fans are pretty, for the most part, we're relatively upset about it. But I just don't understand, how a lot of, rival fans are going on and saying, well, in the past, the refs have always favored Barcelona. But no, I mean, what you guys are saying now, defending Real Madrid for the calls, the same was us, Barcelona fans, doing the same back then. So credit to Real Madrid this particular season for getting La Liga. It's their third, I believe, in 10, 11 years. So congrats to them. I just really hope that that Barca can do something in the Champions League, and I think that they can, considering, as you said, underestimating them, and they're one-legged affairs now. Obviously, the Napoli game's going to be tricky. How Gattuso wants them to sit back rather pragmatically and hit on the counter, which can be pretty difficult to deal with, considering how Villareal opened up Barcelona with one pass today, and Napoli can do the same again at the new camp, especially with no crowd. So if Barcelona can find a way to get through that game, and in terms of luck of the draw, Barcelona can maybe get Atalanta or something, and possibly get into the semifinal on a one-legged affair. There's no away game pressure that Barcelona has mainly folded in over the last 4 to 5 seasons. So, but yeah, credit to Madrid so far this season. But it's not over. They do have an easier schedule. Barcelona do have to. I forget who. I think Barcelona play Espanyol next, but I think Real Madrid overall have the easier next 3 games, just on the basis of rankings. But we'll see. If Real Madrid, though, if they blow this, then I don't want to hear anything from their fan base. There's just nothing. Like, they can't blow this lead. If they blow this lead, I'm not saying it takes away anything from what they've done in Europe, because they've been amazing in the UCL. But domestically, they've just been, for the last 9, 10 years, Barcelona's little side chick, for lack of a better term. They have been. So congrats to them for potentially getting 3 out of the last 11. I know it makes them feel good and helps them sleep at night, so good for them. But we'll see what happens.
Just
For UTL,
Easy,
relax.
if you guys get to
Muntaha, are your club cheating? Are they paying? If they are paying, who are they paying? So I know, so I can pay the right people for Chelsea to beat Bayern.
Definitely. Bro,
So
don't
easy,
worry.
wait, Muntaha, okay.
Excuse me?
Chill. Let me ask again. Are Real Madrid paying anyone to win these games? If they are, who are they paying? So you can tell me, so I can pay them, so they can help Chelsea overturn the 3-0 lead against Bayern Munich in August. Go for it.
Your Bram is paying.
Okay, bro. So when it comes to paying and all those things, first of all, Barcelona is in like mud right now. Like financially, they are like right now they're bankrupt. $1 billion. How many times I've said this, repeat the same thing again and again? So they cannot afford to buy ref anymore because of paying Messi salaries, wages, So they're gone. So right now they can afford the refs. We are enjoying ref, man. Let us enjoy, man, because we can afford the refs. But like on a serious note, bro, this is such a lame accusations, coming from Barca fans. I mean, unbelievable. And all those fans. In fact, Sean, who's the biggest massive fan, even he said that. Like right now, I mean, if he's objective, I mean, even he said that. Like calls goes in both the favors. When it comes to when it comes to about referees issues and everything, right? Why not Messi was red carded? Why not twice? Okay, fine. I mean, what happened? The past is past, right? What Sean said. Let's talk about this season, bro. If Messi would be red carded, I think so. Barca could have lost 2 games, back to back against Celta Vigo and Atletico Madrid. Yeah. So I mean, so even referees are helping in that case to Barcelona. Why not? People are talking about from last 2 games, the Barcelona schedule. They get 120 hours rest, more 60-hour rest than us. Why not? People are talking about that. I mean, look at the teams when we played away, right, this season. Okay, Barca got more rest than us. And in fact, in the last 2 games, Barca have 60 hours more rest than us. Why not people talking about all those things? Because why not fixtures make, fixtures and timing and everything, the venues, the dates, makes a difference. It makes a massive difference. Like for me, I've always said that.
Okay. But how do you respond to Barcelona guys saying that so many of the goals you're getting are
Mhm.
coming from VAR, they're coming from penalties, they're coming from all these VAR calls, and these VAR calls are not really being balanced out with the teams that you're playing.
First of all, again, because you don't have any basis to prove that, in a sense, because according to books of law of football, every foul, that was a legit foul, regardless. Okay, one was soft penalty, it's a foul, right? Okay, Barca didn't get a foul against what do you call, against Atletico Madrid. Wait, didn't I mean? Do you guys even watch La Liga? Do you know that how many soft fouls Atletico Madrid got this season? You know, and they got the penalties for that. In fact, last two games, Atletico Madrid got many soft fouls. I mean, people won't talk about that. I mean, a game before that, okay, Atletico Madrid got the foul. I mean, look at the Marcos Llorente thing. Like he stamped on the defender, but he got still foul. So I don't understand where this was coming
to be
from.
fair, Atletico are not doing anything. So
No, I'm
excuse
saying,
about that.
no. I mean, I understand, Gatla, where you're coming from, brother. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you see, according to we are getting right calls now. Because from last 8 years, Barcelona is getting many calls in their favor, right? Because now at least VR is giving us
That says
the. You
Benzema's
mind?
handball. Are you going to address Benzema's handball?
By the way, do you know that the shoulder thing in La Liga, according to law, that's not a handball? Prove that according to law. How come it's not a handball? Prove me wrong. Like it's, according to law, you can control the ball, okay, with your shoulder. Shoulder is a legal part of your body to control the ball. I don't like if you disagree with me, just go and like do your due diligence. Do your research work and you'll get it. So the problem with Barcelona fans, because right now, because the Godfather PK is talking like a puppet, okay, and on the Twitter and off the pitch. Because Shakira, she's not giving anything to her to him right now. So because
where the hell did Shakira come into the show? Shakira after the Look. Let's get it back in there. Okay, let's finish Shakira's
I'll finish my point over here. Okay. So ultimately, I mean, this is all excuses. Okay, first of all, watch our defense, man. Come on. Okay, the difference between the season between Barcelona and Real Madrid is, okay, if you see midfield and defense of Real Madrid is way superior than Barcelona. Bro, look at the chances created, look at the defenders, look at the shot blocks, clean sheets. We have 17 clean sheets, bro, this season in La Liga. I mean, like Courtois, I mean, he's like greater, like, he redeemed himself compared to last season. So if you see overall, I mean, we have a better, we defended better, our planning was better, and we have a better squad than as just Sean said. And yeah, so I pretty much agree that we are we are like front runners right now. So yeah, I mean because of our performances, it has nothing to do with the fall. And lastly, I just want to mention
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos foul. Okay, I mean you guys mentioned pretty much. The guy was offside. Raul Garcia was offside. He was not even looking at the Raul Garcia. He was looking towards the ball. Okay, he even doesn't know where was Raul Garcia, and the ball was not inside the penalty box. How can you claim that foul? Oh, it's foul. How? Because he was not even actuating. He was not even in in the in the contact with the ball or nothing. He was not even going for the ball. There was nothing. I mean, that's such a stupendous, flipping, opinion to say that that's a foul. Go ahead. That's it.
Okay. So now we come to where things don't get slightly serious right now. Because people will say it doesn't matter. The league is done. The league is finished. But
exactly, your
record is your record.
Okay.
I'm not a stats matcher. I never have been. I've always used this. That's what has made me the greatest football analyst in history. Because I always use this. I always use the catalog. Can you shut up? I always use this. That's why people call me an icon, and I've changed the game of football analysis, taken it to heights that we've never seen before previously. So, based on my amazing eyes and my perception, I feel I've got to address this. And my dear friend, you cannot hide from this. You cannot hide from this because this is a track record. And based on what has happened to this individual this season, there is so much pressure. Guys, I told you again, I'm going to be officially called HCL from August 1st. So I'm just warning you right now. So have fun with calling me HH for the rest of this month. I don't know, we're called what 13 days or whatsoever. I don't know. Come August 1st, I'm going to be called HCL. That will be
Champions League.
name come August 1st, HCL. And who knows? I may look different. I may have like a what's it called, facial reconstruction. So I may look completely different. So don't be scared. But based on what has happened to my
If you
friend,
have hair, I'll be scared.
there is so much pressure. So much pressure when Ogril comes around. People say, yo, HH. Like, HH, what are you talking about? HH, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Homer Simpson? Are you talking about Ren and Stimpy? Are you talking about Tom and Jerry? Who are you talking about? Who? Who?
The goat.
Southampton. Now, let me be clear here. I don't give a damn about Danny Ings. So any people saying Danny Ings should be in the Ballon d'Or and bring play, I don't give a flipping damn. I don't care how many goals that guy scores. You cannot be considered for being world class or Ballon d'Or if your final name is called Ings. You're called Ings. Ings has no place being in any fifth pro or world 11, so he can score as many goals as you want. You're called Ings, and you look like Ings. But Southampton said what's up. Southampton said what's up, and I don't want to hear anything about the league is done, it's finished, because the gap looks stupid. The gap between Liverpool and Man City looks stupid, and people say, "Oh, HH is not that bad. HH is not that bad. You're overreacting. You're overreacting. Shut up, HH. You think you're so cool. You think you're so cool, HH. You think you're so cool." Feast your eyes on that. Oh, why is that too small? How about that? Eyes on that.
Where's Arsenal?
Can you guys see?
Is that a rhetorical question, bro?
Can you guys look at what's happening? You see, because the thing about this is that actually no, I want to actually accentuate this a bit more. 9 losses. 9 losses. Man City are 1 loss away from having double figures. And we insult Arsenal. We call Arsenal losers. We call them sideshows. City have lost more games than Wolves. Arsenal. They've lost more games than Wolves and Arsenal. I don't know who these guys are. They've lost more games than Wolves and Arsenal.
But not Chelsea.
And they've lost more games than Wolves and Arsenal. Which is completely and utterly ridiculous. And my thing about this is because see, Pep needs to understand this, is that you have been smart. Because for me, I thought that, wait a minute, what was the point in beating Liverpool? What was the point in beating Liverpool if you're just going to go back to now being 23 points behind? 23. This is the worst beating Pep has ever received. He's ever received. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And the thing is that if Liverpool break that points record, which I still think is up, because I'm not sure that they will. I think they'll come close. I don't think they'll do it. But if Liverpool do break that points record,
it's just a statement.
Hey man, let me land. If they break that points record, it will make Pep. It will pretty much put everything he's achieved in the Premier League all to just, because all Pep can hold on to now is that, okay, right, we got embarrassed, but we still got 100 points. We still got to go 100 points, something that no other team has yet done. We still got 1-0-0, 3 figures up in the piece. But the 9 L's that this guy has held this season is crazy, which is why I say to myself that Pep, the eyes of the world are watching. Forget that. HH is watching. Your biggest critic. Let me repeat myself and then I'll give it over to my amigos. Nobody cares what you do in the Carabao Cup or FA Cup. You won 4 trophies last season. No one cared. Nobody cared.
4?
you will always be judged on the Champions League. Each year you go without winning the Champions League, I think of you less. So all these losers on the internet, on Facebook and Twitter, who have nonsense, useless football takes, who just speak arrant nonsense, just yeah, rubbish, just yeah stuff is just coming from their mouth. This foolish mumus who just think that because they get mad that they can just come and talk, but all they just talk is just arrant nonsense.
Relax.
Forget those dudes. Me, HH. That's the dude. I'm the dude. I'm that guy. I'm your decider. I decide whether you are that dude or that dude. No one else. It's me. It's me. You've got to prove yourself to me. If you don't win the Champions League this season, because time's running out. If you don't, let me say this right now. I said to you, I'm going to give it to you guys. If number 21, if you don't reach a semi, that is the minimum. I'm saying this right now, and this is the last thing. If Pep Guardiola does not reach a Champions League semi-final, I will induct him into Class C of the Brick Academy. Let me repeat myself so everyone knows. If Pep Guardiola does not guide Man City to at least a semi-final in this Champions League, I will induct him into Class C, which will be the biggest embarrassment of his career. Abdullahi, please speak.
That's too much.
Easy. I'd like to talk, man. I'm talking about Pep.
That's too much.
Double A, can you please talk about Pep? Abdullahi, are you there? Okay. Gatlock.
Yeah, look. First of all, how do you manage double digits losses like this, man? Bro, I didn't even notice, man.
They don't have double-digit losses.
You know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
You want me to talk about
Talk Pep. Talk Pep.
Out of the top 8, man.
It's gonna be a long
double
night.
digit losses. Ah.
A long night.
Okay.
A long. Firstly,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yes, you're there.
Can you hear me?
Talk, man, talk.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you talk already.
Talk, man. What the heck? Jesus. Wait, Abdullahi, is your mic working? Look, my friend, please, Gatlock, please talk, Gatlock, please talk.
Can you guys hear me?
No, Gatlock, Abdullahi, just chill. Gatlock, talk about Pep, please talk.
Okay, all right. Yo, look, to be fair, it's hard for Pep, and I feel bad for the dude.
Yeah, can you?
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
Gatlock, I'm begging you, please talk. Just talk, Gatlock, just talk.
I'm trying to, man. But it's,
Gatlock, please just talk.
trying.
Just talk. I swear to you, please just talk.
Oh, man.
Can you just talk about Pep Guardiola and what has happened to him this season and whether it matters? Please, can you talk, man? Okay, please.
sorry. All right. Let me compose myself. All right. Yeah, look, it's unfortunate for Pep, man. It's unfortunate for Pep. I'm sorry about Pep. Look, you can't really. You have to judge his entire City career as a whole, which includes the 2 W's he got last year. I know he's been a flop in Champions League, but let's be honest, the guy has gotten them a lot of trophies in the past 2 years or 3 years that he's been here. But yeah, he's a Champions League flop. I can't believe he hasn't even reached the semis. I mean, Pellegrini actually reached the semis in 2016. He has this year. Let's be honest. If he doesn't do it this year, the pressure is on him. And to me, this has been like his worst season ever. Which is, I mean, it's one thing to lose the league. It's another thing to be behind by 23 points. I mean, he does that in the Bundesliga, but for it to be done to Pep of all people himself, that's crazy. I don't think I don't think he's the best of all time. Like that dude who I was arguing with, I think last 2 weeks. I don't think he's the best, but I don't think he's shit. Like he ain't the worst because he's still doing his best
So,
in where
so,
he
so,
is.
what do you think happened this season? What do you think was behind the 23 points? Was it that Liverpool were so good, or he has faltered? Because even if you take away Liverpool's crazy season, this is the most losses he's ever had in a season, 9. So,
I
what do you
think
think?
I think it can maybe it's arrogance. Let's be honest, because after company left, this dude did not really replace company. He did not address his defense. He went to go and buy Cancelo's right back and Rodri. I don't know what he was supposed to do, but those guys didn't do anything, and it's it blew up in his face. It blew up in his face because right now Champions League is all he has, man. And if he doesn't do anything in Champions League, his legacy is starting to look a bit. He's having a big asterisk right there because now everybody's like, you can't win this stuff without Messi. He hasn't won in 9 years. He hasn't won the Champions League. He hasn't been in a final in 9 years, and if you're supposed to be the goat of all managers, that ain't great for you, man. That ain't great. If he finishes this season without an FA Cup or a Champions League, he has already lost the Premier League. Then I don't know what's going to happen to him. I really do not know
So,
because I don't think even next season he's going
let me
to
ask
win
you.
it.
So, if he was to win the FA Cup but not the Champions League, you'd still view that as a successful season?
It's a successful season for Manchester City. It's not a successful season for Pep and this Manchester City, who are, let's be honest, they got him for the Champions League. They got him for the Champions League because if they wanted the Premier League alone, they would have gotten another manager. They didn't really need Pep, but they got him for the Champions League, and he hasn't delivered. So you could say his tenure in City has not been as it hasn't been great, but it hasn't been poor at the same time. You can't say he's been poor because he's broken records, but but he hasn't won the Champions League. It's very hard to judge Pep in City because it's just going to be the repeat of Bayern Munich. It's just going to be a repeat of Bayern Munich. But as a whole, he's a domestic merchant. That's what I'll say. He's a domestic merchant, and like you said, double H, a domestic merchant, it ain't a bad thing. It ain't an insult, man. It just means that he's great domestic.
It's still good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. He's just domestic. It just means that you should not really put him as one of the greatest of all times, okay? Or like top 5, top 10, debatable top 10, but top 5, no. You can't put him there. But he's still a good manager. He's a good manager. Maybe he needs to take another sabbatical. However, I can understand why people rate Pep. I can understand why people get on his ass. Although I don't understand why you get on his ass, Double H.
Oh, because he released a documentary where he said he destroyed football. And
But
whenever you and whenever you
there's a
present yourself
so-called
as
manager called
arrogant,
the special one.
I'm gonna be on you.
There's a so-called manager called the special one.
To be fair, Pep did not
Double H.
release that documentary. City
Gatlock,
did.
Gatlock, are you done?
You know,
I'm
Gatlock,
just saying, there's
are
a
you
special
done?
one out there who hasn't
Okay, so Gatlock, you're done.
actually
Red Devil
sniffed the
Studios.
quarterfinals.
So,
Since
Red Devil Studios. So, what do you think has been the issue with Pep this season, and why he's been 23 points behind? Or do you don't think that it matters?
okay, I think first and foremost, we've got to like objective Pascal comes on and says that defending a league, is no mean feat. With the point spiral that City, I mean, I think as fans, football fans in fairness, we do have short memories, and it wasn't that long ago when, as soon as City broke that 100 barrier mark, and they won back-to-back Premier Leagues, everyone's like, City's going to dominate for years. It's going to be a legacy. It's going to be a dynasty, whatever, whatever. And then, of course, Liverpool sort of came forward and stopped because this is the nature of football. So it doesn't. So what Pep Guardiola's achieved Manchester City, the back-to-back titles, obviously the trophies that he's won. I don't think one could just discredit that, especially because of how difficult it is to defend a title in the first place. I think Manchester City, in the recent Premier League year, I think Manchester United is the only other team to do it, as far as I'm aware. So that's that. Looking at this season, yeah, let's be honest, it's not worked. It's not. And given the fact that I think he's lost 9 games, like half of those, what would concern me is that half of those games were home and away to Manchester United, home and away to Wolves, and Norwich. Those were 5 of those losses were home and away to United, home and away to Wolves, and to Norwich City. So it's not like they were outplayed by Liverpool or so were 1-on-1 with like a Chelsea or people that are in the top 3 or 4. It's that he was being outclassed, outmaneuvered by those teams. No disrespect to Wolves or obviously with Ollie or Norwich. Or Norwich are going down. So he has underachieved this season. I don't think there's any question about that. He has definitely underachieved because with the squad that he had, he should be beating those teams. And I say that as a Manchester United fan. With the squad that City had, they should be beating Manchester United, beating Wolves, definitely beating Norwich. But he didn't. Now, if we're talking about the Champions League, on the other hand, obviously there's this whole thing going on, and the only thing I can think of sometimes is that we don't necessarily know what's going on behind the scenes. Could there possibly have been something regarding this whole Champions League ban, the whole thing going around, that cloud in the background that could potentially... I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just sort of saying that we don't necessarily know everything that's going on behind the scenes. So, and going forward, bearing in mind that Pep Guardiola is obviously going into his last year, I think this is last year of his contract, and by all accounts, there's nothing that says that he's committing his future to Manchester City. He's not giving any hints that he's going to be doing that. I think that things obviously are a bit touchy for City, obviously this season, and potentially for City next season as well. Until those things are clarified, his future in Manchester City and the whole Champions League ban, European ban thing, it might not end well.
So do you feel that they will rectify it in this season's Champions League and they are saving everything for maybe a really big, memorable Champions League run?
To be fair to City, they are actually missing Aguero. I think this does kind of show you how Gabriel Jesus really isn't. He's not Aguero. It's as simple as that. Like he's not a good substitution for Aguero. They do not have they don't have a good replacement for Aguero. So if Aguero gets injured, they don't really have that focal point or someone who can score those goals for them. Even Aguero's link-up play, I'd argue, is a lot better than Gabriel Jesus. So when Aguero will be back, obviously, for the Champions League, from what I went for his injury fitness. So I think if all the City squad are fit, is what I'm trying to say, I actually think City are still favourites to the Champions League, no doubt about it. Especially, I think, with the Real Madrid game when I think Ramos is suspended. So I think they should still go through. Okay. But if you take De Bruyne and Aguero out of that side, it struggles. That's my 2 cents.
Sean, Pep, are we being a bit too harsh on Pep, or do we need to be critical of how he's managed to be 23 points behind Liverpool this season?
Well, I find it interesting how you said, well, who cares about them winning 4 trophies or 3 trophies last year, which obviously includes Premier League. And then like 30 seconds later, you're like, well, Pep is down by 23 points. That's embarrassing. Well, I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Let me respond to that. My thing is, have I made a big point of Liverpool winning the Premier League? The point is how they've done it. I always gave City credit for, my God, 100 points. Yeah. I hold my hands up. That's amazing. It's not about who cares about winning the league. It's how you did it. They did it historically. So okay. The thing about Liverpool this season is they may break the points record, but even if they don't, 23 points gap against a team who spends that much amount of money, that's insane.
Right. Well, the money spent is relative, because if you were to put Van Dijk on the market, he's worth more than City's entire back line. So you have to take into account what they're worth in their current market value, not necessarily what they were worth when you spent on them, considering inflation is a big part of this. But yeah, so obviously this season, City, they faltered. Obviously, they have 8 or 9 losses domestically, and that's one of the main reasons as to why they're so many points behind. But I think Red Devil Studio was saying, like, it's very hard to repeat. I mean, they repeated. It's really hard to three-peat, especially with a team like Liverpool, who this is arguably, not even arguably, this is the best Liverpool team that we've seen with a manager that's perfect for them. So you have to give a lot of credit to Liverpool too. And then I think City, they're just having a declining year, and I do think that happens. In terms of Pep's legacy, and I think Gatlock was saying how he's a domestic merchant. You can't be a domestic merchant if you've won the competition twice. And you're going to say, oh, well, he had Messi, Xavi, yes, okay. Messi has won the Champions League 1 time in the last 8 years, and that was because he had the best attacking trio, arguably, of all time. So then how much of it was it Messi, Xavi, yes, or how much of it was Pep also? It goes both ways.
But Sean, your uncle has won it with 2 different teams, FC Porto and Inter Milan. Grandpapa Hank is
don't bring it up.
Credit
wins with
to
Real Madrid and Bayern Munich.
No, credit to Mo, of course. Credit to Mo.
So can Pep win it with a different team that doesn't have Messi, please?
Can he? Well, that remains to be seen. We will see. I mean, if we're talking about a year that the best chance for him winning, I think, was actually against Tottenham last year when it was last year when they got screwed over by the handball by Llorente. I think that was their best chance. But this actually might be the best chance, considering it's one leg and a lot of time off and had a lot of time to prepare for it. So maybe this season. But yeah, overall domestic this season hasn't been well. But again, Pep has won 8 of the last 11 domestic trophies available in England. No other manager in the history of the EPL top flight has even come close to that. 8 out of 11. They haven't. They haven't.
Sean, I have higher standards. See,
I
Sean, you praise guys for beating up on
doing
sideshows. I have higher standards.
Yeah, but but indirectly, subconsciously, since you're putting Pep on such a pedestal standard-wise, you're putting so much pressure on him. That shows that you think of him as that great. You can look at it equally. If Messi and Ronaldo don't score 50 goals a season, one season, that's a decline year for them. That shows that they're the 2 best, right? You saying Pep needs to win a Champions League, you're indirectly saying he is that good of a manager. He is the best without even saying it, because if he doesn't, he's a failure. You only hold the best to such expectations. Otherwise, you would compare them to mid-level managers.
No, but it's the same thing I say with Neymar, Cristiano, and Messi. I've never called Pep trash. I say, no, this guy has skills. This guy is extremely good, and this guy is in the conversation as one of the best managers of his era. But he is overrated. Being overrated doesn't mean that you're trash.
You're saying it's
extremely good, but still overrated. And I think he's overrated because he has not yet won a CL without Messi and that Barcelona era team. And
you have to look at it this way, and you have to look at it this way too. He's only been managing for 10 seasons. I know you can say Zidane obviously won it in his first 3 or 4. Like, what he did is pretty unprecedented in Europe. Okay, but a lot of managers manage their careers for 15 to 20 years, right? Pep has only been managing around 11 seasons, and the success he's accumulated in 11 seasons is, as I've said, I think I was in the debate with TBF we were talking about, I said it's unprecedented. No manager has done what Pep has done in 11 seasons, especially from a philosophical standpoint in terms of how his teams play and how it appeals to a lot of people, at least aesthetically, and how he's been able to adapt to league, dominate domestically per league, albeit with the exception of this season. When you take all things into account, Galak is saying, he's not the top 5 manager. Of course he is. Of course he's a top 5 manager. You can say he's the 5th one. You can say, sure, there are managers better, because, right now there are managers better throughout the entirety of their careers. But in terms of this generation, he has to be 1 or 2. And to deny that, I think, is a little bit foolish. And what you're doing is you're kind of taking away from what he's achieved and accumulated and basing it all on, the pieces that he had. And there's also this other thing with Pep that a lot of people like to attribute his success to. They attribute Pep's success to the talent he has and the talent he always gets. There's a reason why he gets this talent. He's getting this talent because he is successful in these places and the board of each club.
So
has
basically, you're saying
certain
like he can't win a CL with FC Porto or Scunthorpe. That's what you're saying.
Scornthorpe. When was the last time anybody won a Champions League with Scornthorpe? I mean, I don't know their history. I mean, you love teams in
Okay, look, just okay.
Yeah.
FC Porto, win is
congrats. But also, you can also say that it was the teams nowadays. I feel like it's harder for smaller teams to win the Champions League nowadays, considering a lot of the big teams are even more stacked. So I think if you were to see a Porto or an Atalanta win the Champions League, it'd be more rare than it was in 2004. And also, if you look at the players Porto had, they still had great players. Like, it's not like they were a bunch of scrubs. And I'm not taking away anything Mourinho has done. But what I'm saying is the reason why Pep gets these sons, the reason why Pep gets these players is because of the success he has created at those clubs. So other clubs want him. And people say, oh, why don't you go manage a mid-level team, right? Let me give you a corporate example. If you were a CEO of a company like IBM, right, and other big corporations wanted you to be the CEO or the VP of sales or whatever, a really high up executive position, but you're like, no, I need to prove to the people on the streets that I can work as a mid-level manager at freaking McDonald's. Like, why would you do that? Like, nobody what does he got to prove?
No. But Sean, you can't compare the corporate world to sport.
You can.
Sport and the corporate world are two totally different.
It isn't.
No, but like I have an example where Sean argument have a flaws. For example, Jack Ma, he was rejected by top corporate companies. I mean, look what he did. He's one of the top richest man in the world. Like, he started with their own setup.
But you get my point, though. You get my point.
No, but
hate on Pep
I got your point. Yeah.
The hate on Pep comes down to a lot of factors that he necessarily can't control. He's being given based on the success that he's had in the past. So what he did with Barcelona B is why he was able to go to a Barcelona A team in which finished in third place the year prior to him going, and then he revamped the entire squad. He put Messi in a central position. He made Busquets the main anchor as a CDM, and they were immensely more successful than the previous season. So what Pep has done with each place he's gone to, and City had never had this kind of success domestically with Mancini and Pellegrini. No, they didn't. Pep dominated this league. Obviously,
okay, Sean.
The only thing I'd argue with Sean,
wait, just quickly. So, Sean, in short, if Pep Guardiola doesn't win the Champions League this season, but he can give you an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup, you still hold him as one of the best managers of all time.
Oh, I mean, what he's done in 11 years warrants that. He's not done. He's not done. No, he's not done after the season, man. He's going to have another 5 to 10 years.
Wait. So if he doesn't win the Champions League, you would not call this season a failure for him.
He doesn't win the Champions League, of this season, yeah, it would be a failure, for his standards. But if he doesn't win the Champions League by the time he retires again, then I will agree with you. But until then, what he's done is he has 2, and he has over 20 trophies in 11 seasons. No manager's ever done that.
Okay.
That's
Munzaha, Pep.
Okay, once again, yeah. So for me, bro, I mean, with respect to Pep Guardiola, I understand where Sean is coming from. To be honest, if you see from last 2 seasons, making 198 points back to back, I mean, 100-point centurions, they are recorded as one of the best teams in the Prem history. I mean, they have their own argument, and then 98 points, one of the most exciting title race we have been witnessing in the EPL from from last how many years, but still he won it. I mean, treble. I mean, when I mean treble means 3 domestic trophies. I mean, impressive. Yeah, fine. But when you see Pep's record, right, domestically with respect to Bayern as well, I mean, for me, I think so. That's more of clutching at straws when you claim that 3 domestic trophies with Bayern. I don't want to go there, but still, let's stick to Man City. Okay, what he did with Man City, that's impressive. I mean, in a sense, he gave a club an identity which they didn't have at the time of Pellegrini and all. You need to give credit for all those things what he did domestically as well. I know. I mean, he have his own struggles in Champions League. But this is ultimately is HH. I mean, Champions League is the most difficult competition. Is the highest club competition ever. I mean, at least for now. It's not easy to win. Okay, I know he lost to, for example, Monaco. Yeah, but that team was semi-finalist. I mean, look at that team. That team was really good. I mean, people don't understand that. Like, I mean, oh, look at Man City. They spent a lot. Yes, but that Monaco team was stacked as fuck as well. I mean, let's be honest with you. With regards to Spurs, you know what? Yeah, like he was unfortunate. I'll give him that. But still, I mean, kudos to Spurs, kudos to Pochettino, what he did, even in the first leg. I mean, that Pep's mistake was there, the first leg, but ultimately, bro, this is Champions League. You cannot win every year. I mean, I don't know where this notion comes from, Oh, if you're a great manager, if you're a good manager, great manager, you have to win Champions League with every club. No, 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 no. That's like, bro, Champions League, you win once or twice. Bro, for example, we have Alex Ferguson, right? Like, I'm not defending Pep over here. Don't get me wrong, okay? Like, I'm one of his critique, when it comes to Champions League as well. But even he wants like 2 Champions League in 25 years, something like that. Bro, it shows that how difficult competition it is to win. I'm not defending Pep over here. I'm defending the competition. So like when it comes to this season with respect to the domestic success, I mean domestic failure, yes, it is failure, and it's not according to Pep standards failure, which I disagree with Sean there. I think so it's like a failure in a broader terms. I mean, when was the last time we saw 23 points gap? I hope it doesn't finish like that, 23 26 point difference, because then it's more and more embarrassing. I understand, but if you see from the player's perspective, let's be honest over here. If players won 198 points, right? They have nothing to prove anyone right now in the Premier League. Let's be honest over here. I mean, what they do, okay, even if they're challenging, right? Ultimately, people will criticize them. Oh, you're challenging Premier League, but you have to win Champions League. You have to think from the players' perspective as well. So if you see that this season, I mean, Champions League is must, at least for Pep Guardiola's semi-final. I mean, bro, this is one leg affair now. Champions League has been cut down in terms of competition. Now it's one leg affair. It's much more easier in terms of for you. There's no 2-leg thing, because you have second leg, you keep on bottling and everything happens. But now you have to prove yourselves. Because look, for me, I rate Pep Guardiola really regards him as one of the best manager, but not the best. Of course, for me, I believe Mourinho is better. Jupp Heynckes is better, So I rate them. Even Ferguson as a manager, as an overall manager, he's better, So I mean, Pep is there, and he's somewhere in that bracket. I understand that, but bro, I mean, this is really difficult to ask him. Oh, give me every season in Champions League. No, it's not. It's not happening every time. We have seen many great managers, keep on failing. Let's be honest. I mean, Diego Simeone. Okay, he's defensive as well. People have people criticize him as well for his drawbacks. But still, I mean, did he win Champions League? No, it's not that easy. I know he reached final with Atletico, but bro, this Man City team, first of all, if you see whenever Pep says, right, this team doesn't have identity to play in Europe. Bro, if you look at the teams, right, who have identity, for example, Real, Barca, Bayern, I mean, look at PSG. Why they struggle? They don't have identity.
Just quickly round up.
I'll just finish off, yeah.
No, especially if Pep doesn't win the Champions League with Man City this season, would we still say his tenure at City has been a failure, or we can still say he's won trophies and he's still been a success? How hard should we judge him on his performance?
No, we have to judge him with really, with harsh critics. For example, if you're not making a semis, with City, that's embarrassing. I mean, fine, okay, it's not about just winning UCL. You need to give us something where we can regard you. Oh, look what Pep Guardiola did in Champions League. I mean, if he didn't do anything, then it's look. I won't say it's a failure though. Still, I won't say it's a failure, because look, failure is a big word. When you mean failure, it means that you didn't want anything, you was trash and everything. I don't think so. It's a failure. It's impressive, but it's not. The world class, for example, managers tenure, for example, what other managers we have seen, in recent history in Champions League or with the respective team, So I'll say it's really a bad thing for his legacy in terms of the amount they invested as well, but it's not a failure. When I mean failure, you have to understand, failure means you did jack shit, That's not true. That's not true. Okay. Yeah, but it is a really bad stuff, bad thing on his legacy. Yeah.
So come on, let me just hit this on concept. Dean Classic, the super chat. Thank you, bro. He says, win something big without Messi, and we can talk. Period. And Dean Classic, this is all I ever wanted from Pep Guardiola. Because yes, people say he won 2 Champions League trophies, but you have won them with a guy who is arguably one of the greatest players that the club game has ever seen. So what proves me that you're a true manager without relying on an incredible once-in-a-lifetime talent is winning it without him. And the fact that you've never even made a final without Messi is problematic. And even when my fellow countryman Rob Porter quizzed him on this, Pep said, it's true. I have not been able to reach a thingy without your boy Messi. That's problematic. Heinkes did it without Messi. Mourinho did it without Messi. Mourinho did it without Messi and the great Cristiano. Do it without Messi, then I'll be seeing you in a higher regard. Until you do that, I'm going to praise Mourinho far higher than you because Mourinho has achieved far greater things than you with what he did for FC Porto and Inter Milan with a far greater accomplishments than all your flipping trophies with the stacked Barcelona side, stacked Bayern side, and a multi-rich Man City side. Abdullahi.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you beautifully well. We can hear you beautifully well. Go for it.
Like I think you bringing up Pep, like this kind of reputation of Pep every day. When I call him Guardiola, I'm not being biased or being racist now. Now I keep saying it.
Oh, easy. Did you say that you're not being biased or racist?
Yes. Yeah. When I call him Guardiola, I'm not being biased or racist. I rate Pep.
Okay.
But he's not in my top 5. No. People may put him in top 5. I'm sorry. Is at the moment? It's top 10 at the moment. Now he hasn't proven anything to me yet. People say, "Is this?" I listened to what Sean on Red Devil said. Yes, I agree to an extent to the caliber of it, but no, you cannot spend that kind of amount of money and you can't even guarantee Champions League. No. That's not the excuse. We give way too many excuses for Pep Guardiola, but other managers we slay them. That is not done. We slated Jose Mourinho for a lot of time. Is garbage. Is done. Is this? If we are slating Mourinho,
No. We've never slated Mourinho on this channel. HH has never slated Mourinho.
You've already talked. Abdullahi, it's true. People disrespected Mourinho and the insults they gave Mourinho. They wouldn't dare say half of that towards Pep. Please continue.
Yes.
But that's true. HH, you're spot on. You're spot on because
Thank you. Please continue. Sorry, double standards. Continue, Abdullahi. Continue.
It's a double standard. How many sacks does Pep have? There's a reason why Holmes is getting sacked.
Abdullahi, please continue.
A lot of people slate Mourinho a lot because they said it's been garbage, it's been trash, it's been this. But we forget they don't slate Pep because he has won a lot of domestic trophies in EPL and everything. I did not disagree with that. I totally agree. But we need to remember something. This guy hasn't won Champions League since 2011. That is like a long time ago. He hasn't won the Champions League since 2011. So
wait. Abdullah, can you say that again? He hasn't won Champions League since when?
Since 2011, 2011.
Which is how many years ago?
He won it in 2009 with Barcelona when Lionel Messi was there. He also won it in 2011 for me. Yes.
Excellent.
Then, he hasn't won it.
Excellent. Who won it in between that time?
Between 2009 and 2008 and 2009, United won it. Barcelona won it. And, he won it in 2011 with the Barcelona team.
Who won it in 2010? Who won it in 2010? The year before that one.
Is it before the year 2011 or before the 2009?
Before 2011.
Talking about Mourinho,
it was
bro.
2008.
That's the
That was
implication.
United. It was 2008. That was United. 2008 when they beat Chelsea.
Not for the night. I think it was Mourinho, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2010
Yeah.
Mourinho treble. That's the implication, dude. That's the
No. 2008 was United. That was when he beat Chelsea in the final.
2009 was Barca. 2008 was United.
It was
Come on,
United.
bro.
2009 was United. Then when he beat them.
Bro, I'm just talking about 2010. I'm talking about 2010. Okay.
Oh my
I'm
God,
talking about-
Abdullahi, bro. Come on, dude. You're trying
I'm
to
talking about 2010.
You're a brick.
We need to understand this thing. We need to understand this. Like we need to stop giving excuse to Pep. I'm done. I'm tired of this stupid excuse we give to Pep. No. When you fail, accept your failure and don't bring out some start merchant and telling me no. I'm done.
How do you argue against?
No. I'm done with that.
He says big ass claims.
The
There's
way,
no
the way
validity
people, the
behind
way
it.
people slate Pep now, they do the same thing to Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Exactly. People say Ronaldo is this, Messi is that. For me, both of them are one of the great, not the great at the moment. One. There's a difference between the great and one of the great. Pep is not even the great at all. It's one of the great. That's what we need to understand.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's one of the great, not the great at all. No. It's one of the great. And
Yeah,
HH is saying he's gonna
when you
induct
say
Pep.
Pep is top 10, you imply he's one of the greats. So you said that. You don't
He's
even
one
say
of the greats. For me, he isn't the great yet. When you talk about that, there's some great managers who are better than Pep. Yupankis, Zinedine Zidane, Carlo Ancelotti. Those are good coaches who are 100% better than Pep Guardiola.
Wait, you think Zidane is better than Pep?
Yes.
Nah. You know what?
Dude,
Abdullah, you
are
can't
you
say that.
kidding me?
Abdullah, you know why you can't say that?
mentioned
Because
Ferguson. I'd say he's
bro,
better.
Wait,
Ferguson's better.
easy. Let me
I just want to say one thing in defense of Abdullah, yo.
Easy. From your boy, Premier Marmal, I'll give it to you. He says, Lep, Class B, if he gets knocked out by Madrid. Oh, no, yeah. He will be. If he gets knocked out, I will induct him. Muntaha, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, in defense of Abdullah. Like, there was a point I posed by, I don't know, someone, like, oh, Pep, like, please, I'm not disregarding Pep, right? Okay, we're like, I'm saying that if you see, oh, look how many times Mourinho has been sacked compared to Pep. Mourinho, okay, Porto, he was never sacked. Fine. Chelsea in his first tenure, never sacked. Real Madrid, never sacked. Inter Milan, never sacked. Okay.
Yeah.
He came back to Man United. Chelsea and Man United, right? Or where he was sacked. Bro, you have to see the difference between Pep and Mourinho. Pep pick and choose really smartly. He knows that which club is going to back him 100%. And which club is going to, believe in his system and his philosophy,
Yeah.
So Pep is not taking a bold measures. He went to Barcelona was a really great achievement. I'll give him that, definitely. Because if he would have failed over there, he would be sacked. So that's a bold step from him. To be courageous. He went to Bayern Munich. That's not a bold step and not a challenge in terms of
When you're done.
Wait, let Muntaha.
That's a really great, yeah. So that's not a bold step, in your career to, Yeah, I understand in terms of if you don't win UCL, okay, people might criticize you, which they do. Okay, you might hinder your legacy, but it's like you pretty much know that they will believe in your system because you're that great man. Definitely, kudos to Pep. But again, it's not a challenge when Mourinho. Bro, Mourinho came back to Chelsea when he saw Chelsea's declining. Okay, that's not the same Chelsea. He knows that, right? He have specific time period to regain that Chelsea form again and win them some trophies. Same goes for Man United. Where was Man United? And the Louis Van Gaal. Man United is not the same Man United what we see now. Okay, fine. He went to Spurs. We know where he's Spurs. I understand. Oh, he's not that great because this argument is full of flaws. Where he's not that great. He's like dinosaur, dinosaur tactics. That's why small clubs or those clubs who are not anymore tier 1 is going for. That's absolute bullshit. Even you have to understand.
Romanta, he won the Premier League in 2015.
No, definitely, he won it. That's what I'm saying. He thought like, okay, let me go for Chelsea. Let me give them some titles. He knows that he cannot stay for the longer period because Chelsea is not the same Chelsea when Roman Abramovich, bought Chelsea, in 2004 season. So it's not the same Chelsea anymore. It's not the tier 1 football club. If you see Pep, he went to 2 tier 1 football club, okay? And he wants that club who needs an identity, which he did really great job, where he knows that even if he performed badly, which this season he did, he will not get sacked. Either, bro, you know what? He left Bayern Munich on his own. If he would have stayed one more year in Bayern, he would have got sacked. Like, if you see the entire dressing room was against him and Bayern Munich, even the the staff and the management and the board was against him. If he would stay one more year, he was ultimately sacked. So, like, the idea is where you bring the idea where Pep is like, oh, he's flawless. He will never get sacked. God, and Mourinho got sacked twice. That's bullshit. You cannot bring that.
No. Wait. You see, the points we're just trying to make here is, and it's a very simple point, and this is something I keep on trying to promote, degree of difficulty. To be seen as the very best and the cream of the crop, I need you to achieve through high degrees of difficulty. So it doesn't matter how many trophies you show me of Pep. It does not matter. What matters is you can win a Champions League without Messi, because that is a chip that will always be on his shoulder. That is why the reporter brought it up to Pep, and Pep admitted that, yeah, it is true. I've not been able to win this thing without Messi. So Messi has just been this shadow that has been hovering over him, saying, Messi gave you a career. Messi made you relevant. Messi gave birth to you. Messi must actually be, if you check the DNA, your true biological father. So for him to prove that he isn't just Messi's side piece and he isn't just Messi's dominatrix, he has to win a CL without him.
Right, but that remains to be
Sean,
seen.
why can't you understand? Why do you keep keeping with this dude and bringing me these irrelevant 11, 12, 30 trophies, which are completely irrelevant? Why?
No, let me say. Of course,
Are your standards that low? Are your standards that low?
Okay,
The heck?
alright. Okay, so firstly, of course, these trophies aren't irrelevant. I'm not saying he doesn't need to win. Of course, Pep needs to win a Champions League without Messi at some point. As I said, if he doesn't win one by the end of his career, then I'll wholeheartedly agree with you. I'll agree with you in that sentiment. If he doesn't, because he's only been managing 11 seasons. Like most managers are managing, at least the biggest ones are managing 15, 20, even 25 years sometimes. So give him some time. And also they're saying like a Mourinho, he went to go take these bold challenges. Well, when you get sacked, you limit your options. When you get sacked, a lot of other big clubs don't want you, so you have a limited pool of clubs that now want you. So a lot of the times, you think he wanted Tottenham? Nah, he had to settle. Like he had to settle.
By the way, Sean, there's again, you're not well informed, but I think so, because when we sacked Solari, pretty much Perez, he wanted Mourinho. So the biggest and the best club in the world football. When we wanted Mourinho back, I don't think so.
If you want Mourinho back, you can get Mourinho back.
No, definitely.
Bro, he signed Lopetegui.
And by the way,
Perez's decisions are not always great, man.
I can't even
No,
talk about.
but if you see that,
One at a time. Let's Sean finish his point.
I was just giving you an example. For the most part, when you get sacked, your options are limited, and that's what happened with Mourinho. You can say, yeah, of course, Perez wanted him back because he did get them a league title. He was obviously unsuccessful in Europe with Real Madrid, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, Perez wanted him back. That's fine. He didn't get him back though. He didn't make any crazy substantial offers enough to sway Mourinho away from other offers, such as Chelsea or et cetera, whatever it was at the time. So the point that I'm making is that Pep, I know he needs to win another Champions League without Messi. I know, but you act as if he doesn't have like 10 to 12 more years that at the top level of managing top clubs. Like he's gonna have another chance. So it's like chill on the hate and just appreciate what he's done, and then analyze his greatness when he retires. You know, he hasn't taken a steady decline. He's had one poor season in which he's still probably.
No. But Sean, even if we look at his whole career, he's never been to a CL final since 2011.
And also, if you look at,
I want to respond to Sean. Yes, I'll respond to Sean. Sean, go ahead.
Okay,
sorry.
I mean, if you look at, obviously, you know, you can say that he was a bit unlucky at Bayern, or you can make all the excuses you want. Obviously, he didn't get it done. But if you look at the details in those games, I think he was unfortunate in 2016. I think they should have gone through. I think those were individual defensive errors.
Don't give me should. Don't give me should, Sean.
I know, but when I talk about these sort of things and I analyze this, where I like to bring out as many details as I can to give the clearest picture that I can. I don't just like to say, "Oh, he didn't win, therefore he's a failure."
Okay, Sean. So Sean, yes, you're gonna give him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 years worth of experience.
When you win two UCLs in your first 4 years and you get to around 7 or 8 semifinals in your career, then yeah, I'm gonna give you that. I will, especially when you're winning almost every single domestic competition available. If he wasn't, then I wouldn't give him an excuse. But the fact that he's winning as many things as he possibly can and getting to semifinals on a consistent basis, albeit not with City, but throughout, you know, the last 10 years, he's gotten to like 6 semifinals. Yeah, I'm obviously going to give him the benefit of the doubt, especially considering he's only been managing for 11 seasons. So we'll see what happens in the next 10. I get your critiques. I understand everybody's criticism with it. I don't understand why the majority of your chat, it's like a cesspool of hate. Like this, the majority of your chat, it's like, they all just hate on Pep. It's just kind of funny.
No, look, as I said again, look, man, I am, for me,
look at these comments.
Wait. Let me just say this. Look, I am not one to bring in disciples. This is why I says I'm not religious. I am spiritual. I'm not religious because I don't want people just to follow me and follow me. So people's views are people's views, and I have my views which are separate, and I think people are entitled to their views. But I just thought, and my thing is that I just qualify it by just saying that yeah, let's wait and let's see what happens. But as of right now, his record is sketchy because for me, I don't care how many domestic titles you win with Bayern. For me, with the amount of money you spend with Man City, I don't really care how much you do with Man City. It's irrelevant to me. 100 points is cool, but at the end of the day, for me, win the biggest trophy, win the big boy.
We'll see. If Barca lose, I really hope he gets it done. So then this conversation is just nullified. It's done. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Hatred. I just want.
Finish up. Okay, finish up. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Like people don't understand that. Like, look, I'm not like gloating on Mourinho's achievement, but winning with that 2004. Name me 3 world class players from that team. Might be Deco. I mean, when was the last time we watched such a heavy underdogs? I mean, Ajax were close. Monaco was a really great team, so I won't consider Monaco as a world class players they had. You know, I mean, Deco and might be Paulo Pereira, even he's a like world class player. Manish, who knows these players, bro? Okay, what Mourinho did, Pep cannot even do that thing. So forget about that. That's like he cannot even achieve that stuff. What Mourinho did. So you cannot even compare that. Let's look at the challenges. Again, I said because I want to expand that bold decision of joining. Bayern Munich is not a bold, bro. I mean, let's be honest. When he joined Bayern was a best football club in the world. 2013. I mean, bro. I mean, that's insane. That's insane to even to give credit to Pep Guardiola over there.
It's a lot of pressure though.
Doesn't matter, bro. What do you mean by that, bro? They won treble. They have, bro. On top of that, he spent 200 million. He added Lewandowski, Thiago Alcantara, then Xabi Alonso. He added many players. Matt Hummels, bro. Like how many players he added? Arturo Vidal in the campaign, bro. Are you kidding me? You're giving Pep to credit for Bayern Munich? Let's be honest over here. Fine, okay, he reached semis, bro. That's a mandatory for him to at least reach semis with that team. People regard the 2013 Bayern as one of the greatest Champions League sides ever. If you don't reach semis with that team, shame on you then. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating this one. Okay, let's come to Man City. Before Pep's arrival, he improved Raheem Sterling. Yeah, they have Raheem Sterling, they have Kevin De Bruyne, they have Fernandinho, they have Sergio Aguero, they had Vincent Kompany. Oh, okay, he changed many goalkeepers. Fine. Okay, I'll give him that. He signed many new fullbacks again. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. And he signed Laporte. Fine. He made them a relevant team. Definitely. He gave them a spine. Definitely, I'll give him that. But that's not, again, a challenge. Because he knows that ultimately EPL is all about, English teams are all about Premier League. And he knows that he's master of winning the league competitions. So ultimately, it's a calculated move where people don't understand that. It's a risk analysis. Do you know what is risk analysis? He did a calculated move, and he went to a Man City where he knows that, like, there are many rumors. I don't know how many of the rumors are true. He was playing with Chelsea as well. I mean, Chelsea rejected him because he was too demanding from the board, from the owner as well.
It was true.
Yeah, he was too demanding because he knows that they cannot fulfill my demands ultimately. So I want to
round off your point because we have to have one.
Okay, so I'll finish it off over here. I'll finish it over here. For me, when people say, "Okay, Pep achievement," that he's brilliant. He's one of the best manager in world football. Yes. Like for me, he's like top 10 easily any day. But when I compare him with other heavyweights, oh my God. I mean, he's behind them. That's my point. I'm not hating on Pep. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Pep, but he's such a great manager. Where I have to go to the fine details. I have to go to the specifics.
So I think some people have been mentioning it in here, man. Guys, send in some questions. We'll probably take.
Let me finish up, Pep.
Wait, look, man. Please. So, guys, send in questions. Any questions you want us to address for this thing, send them in right now, or forever hold your peace. So, I want guys like the vid. Please like the video, hit the like button and support this video. Hit the like button, get those likes in. Thiago Alcantara. So, Thiago Alcantara has announced that he wants to leave Bayern Munich. Now, Hansi Flick has come out and said he will try and do everything in his power to help him, to do everything in his power to make him stay, and he wants him to stay. But he has expressed he wants to go, and it is very, very close that Liverpool might be the team that wants to acquire him. So, your boy Gatlock, do you think that Bayern Munich should try hard enough to keep Thiago Alcantara, or can they survive without him? And do you think Thiago Alcantara is the player that Liverpool need to take them to the next level?
Honestly, I always thought Thiago was more of a Pep kind of player rather than the club, to be fair. I really don't know. Look, I have not really watched him too much, so I can't really tell if he's that good or not.
So you didn't watch him at Barca?
Actually, I didn't watch him at Barca. I did watch him at Bayern a lot. He is a decent midfielder, but I feel Bayern can do without him as long as they replace him. He's 29, turning 30. He can leave, man. I don't think. Look, I think he can be replaced in Bayern Munich with anybody else. For Liverpool, I don't know how much he will work in Liverpool's system, but he is a good addition for them. I don't know if he will work well. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't think he works that great in a in a club kind of system. But we'll see. I really don't know if he work in club system. And I think Bayern can go and get somebody else. They're the Bundesliga champions, man. They can literally go for anybody else, any other midfielder. They can put Kimmich there along with. I think they are nurturing some the French dude Michael something. I can't remember. But look, I think they can literally just get anybody, any other midfielder, Bayern Munich, gets more youth in their team. So if they want Thiago to leave, I think he should leave. I don't know if Liverpool is the best option for the dude. It is the best given who they are, but I don't know if you play well in there. That's all I know. That's all I can say.
Gatlock, thank you for that absolutely expert, amazing breakdown. Gatlock, you will bring a nice, lovely kind of tenor to this thing, man. Gatlock, and which is why we appreciate you and your contribution to this whole thing, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Sean, relax, chill. So, Sean, also by the way, I want a new season of Boondocks. I want a new season of Boondocks.
All right.
So easy. Look, I just chill. So, Sean, Thiago Alcantara, should Bayern try and keep him, or do you think that he should move? And do you think he will improve Liverpool and he's the player that Liverpool needs?
Oh, I think Bayern should obviously try and keep Thiago at all costs because he's such a great creative player. I watched a breakdown. There was a 6-minute clip on Twitter. They were breaking down Thiago's midfield, his skills in the middle of the field, in terms of passing and dribbling and getting out of tight situations. And I think that's what Liverpool need actually, because they don't have a real creative playmaker. What Henderson has been one of their main creators. Think about that for a second. Henderson. People are saying giving him PFA Player of the Year shouts, which is insane.
Wait, so Sean, are we cleansing like calling Henderson a piece of trash?
No, I'm not. He's a very good. He can dictate the tempo relatively well. He's a good leader. He works really hard. He has a great work rate, and he presses well, and he doesn't lose possession often. But he is by no means a player that can create well on a consistent basis. And he's not even the same stratosphere as Thiago from a technical perspective. And their skill sets are so vastly different. Thiago brings a whole other dimension to Liverpool. If you have Thiago playing balls over the top on the ground, splitting defenders, what he does, he's giving Firmino more space to work actually up front as opposed to dropping his deep. He's giving Salah and Mane can actually play wider and make more runs in behind and making the left and right backs push in more narrowly. So there's a variety of things that Thiago can bring to Liverpool that can make them successful. So yeah, if I was Thiago, I would go because I think it'd be cool to play in the Premier League as opposed to playing on a team that that's won the Bundesliga 8 years in a row.
Hold on thoughts. You see, this is when Liverpool fans start sniffing cocaine. Can you just study this thing? This is when Liverpool fans start sniff cocaine and start going to Riga. If you say this in the wrong street at the wrong time, you will get rushed and you may get punched and beaten.
I don't care. It's really easy to body Liverpool fans.
This is drug talking. This is drugs. Even if you took drugs, I don't think drugs should even make you say anything as wild as this. But there we go. I just wanted just to expose that comment. Sean, please continue, my dear sir.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care what Liverpool fans say in general. For the most part, a lot of them just spew things sporadically, and none of them makes much sense. And some dude in the comments was saying that I only watch Thiago highlights. I watch him a lot at Barca, and I watched him at Bayern too. So I like Thiago a lot. I like watching him play. So I think he'd be a great addition to Liverpool, and he would really benefit them. And if they one comment said what Henderson, same level as KDB passing wise, where do you find these people? These people subscribing if they think KDB is on the same level as Henderson at passing. Like,
new content crack, man. New content crack. That's what they're here for.
That's like they're sniffing like the glue, cocaine, and meth rolled into one. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I think Thiago would be great at Liverpool and it would help him out immensely. Yeah.
Okay. Also, by the way, Sean, I want to start some beef because I'm an instigator. So I say American guy talks too much.
Yeah,
so,
I would have him come on.
Easy. Look. Okay, I want to just set up a fight and a dispute between you two in the live chat. So Sam says that you're American and you don't really know about football. Do you want to respond to the accusation very quickly?
I'm Sicilian. I'm 95% Sicilian. I have family in Sicily and Italy, so it doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, I live in America, but I mean, I'm basically nearly full Italian with family there. So, yeah.
Hey, Italiano, hey.
My mom's last name is Nicosia, so I could have been easily Sean Nicosia, but at least my dad's a Welsh.
What the fuck is hatred, bro?
Technological break.
Yeah, easy. I'm back. It's like, how the heck could I?
World-class technological break.
Easy. Why was Gatlock hosting? Why was Gatlock hosting this whole thing? I was like, what the hell?
Because even your channel
the downfall of this thing. If Gatlock ends up hosting this thing, that would be the downfall of this channel. God forbid. Montaha, Thiago Alcantara, man. Speak on him. Should he stay at Bayern? Move to Liverpool?
No, I mean, like, if you see like the season, right? If he wins UCL, that's pretty much done and dusted. Like for him in the Bayern in the career, like he won pretty much everything what he could have won with Bayern. So I think so. This is like a new challenge, a nice move as well. I won't say it's like more of a challenge thing because Liverpool is a pretty like great team. Like the front three, they have really astute defense, and then they have really good front three as well. What they lack is like creativity, which we all aware of that. And for me, like, fine. I mean, he can make a big difference in Liverpool, right? I mean, you might bench Gini or Hendo, any one of them. So he might slide into that role and playing more of like dropping deep, looking for those passes which Gini and Hendo cannot look for that. Fine. I mean, that's great addition, but we don't know for how long he could do that because he's 28 now, so 3-4 more years. 29. Okay, 29. So it means like he's a short-term, like a temporary, solution ultimately. And for Liverpool, yeah, that's what they need, to be honest. But like, I was a bit amazed when I see he was playing with Liverpool because the way Klopp plays, he demands a lot from his midfielder physically. Thiago cannot do that stuff. So it's pretty much either you play him a regista role and play, Fabinho or someone like that as a box to box, or you're more of a, like shielding him defensively, like how Pirlo used to play in the time of AC Milan days or Juventus days, something like that. I think that would be also a good option. But I think so he'll play a bit more advanced role, number 8 role, which is like a hybrid of number 8, number 6, So I think so he will go for that kind of position, and Klopp will go for that. But again, the problem with that kind of system, playing style, is that the way Liverpool front three demands ball, with such a velocity. And it's like, I mean, in 1 or 2 passes they require to, for the midfielders to release the ball. Thiago can do that, But again, the problem is that how can he manage to produce that work rate? I mean, and he's not even young player. For example, 22, 23. I mean, it's like 29. So I still believe it's a good addition, and it will definitely help Liverpool. And when it comes to when it comes to big games, for example, sorry, not big games, deep blocking teams, right? When they sit deep and low block in a sense. So I think that at that point, I mean, Thiago would be a kind of solution for them because they don't have Naby Keita. They signed with that purpose, but like he's not fulfilling his duties. I mean, he was good to be honest. The way he assisted, Man into this game, but ultimately, I think Thiago would be a upgrade over Naby Keita. And the question is KD? I mean, sorry, is Henderson is better than KDB ability wise? There's no fucking way he's better. But you know what? If you see this season, Hendo, what he did for the Liverpool from amount of work rate, captaincy and everything. I mean, not as a player you can rate him as a KDB
No,
level.
no, but that's what's
foolish.
no. We're
Yeah.
not here about being a passion merchant.
Yeah.
This season,
but-
De Bruyne has been one of the
But
best players this season.
definitely, KDB is way better than. I mean, there's not even argument. But Henjo is one of the most productive, functional player of Liverpool. Let's be honest. I mean, Henjo has been like a really good, I mean, not good. Is like a concrete, solid, rock solid at the back as well. And his giving. I mean, he's giving his best. And to be honest, for me, Henderson impressed me a lot because what we have a notion with Henjo, he's technically break his shit, his that, but he's
Okay.
decent this season, to be honest. Yeah.
Abdullahi, round us off, man. Round us off. Thiago
Yeah.
Alcantara.
I think for me, Thiago Alcantara is the perfect fit for Liverpool. I think that's what they need. But I think it fits more to Pep Guardiola's system than Klopp's system because Alcantara is like someone. He's not that fast. The way Pep play, the way Klopp plays. Klopp plays like a fast football. Mane, Salah, Firmino, they kind of run with with the way they play. But Alcantara can't play that way. Alcantara need to hold on to the ball and find a pass. That's kind of way he plays. It doesn't play like this. I think the same way Jorginho's plays. That's kind of what Alcantara plays. Like spread out the passes. It's fitting more like a register role, more like a register role, like pinpoint the passes either to the striker or to the winger. That's where he plays. But the way Pep plays, the way Klopp plays, he plays a fast football, which doesn't suit what Thiago Alcantara plays. So I think for me, the only player that can go out of that team, I think, is either Anderson or Jorginho Wijnaldum. That's the player Alcantara can replace because he can play more as a DM, not more as a DM, just more as a register.
So you're saying that Bayern don't need Thiago Alcantara; they can survive without him.
It's difficult at the moment because I think Alcantara for me is one of the most best players this year. After Lewandowski and I think David Alaba, Alphonso Davies, and I think Thomas Muller. We should also pick Alcantara. Also, he's been phenomenal for Bayern Munich this year. But him going to Liverpool is for me is like a very good move for him. But the problem is the temple of EPL is different than the temple of Bundesliga. Way different. And the way we need to also remember that the way Klopp plays is way different. So you need to adapt to the system in which Klopp plays, and also you need to adapt to the tempo of EPL. Once those adaptivity can get in there, I think it's a fantastic signing for me.
Okay, guys, it's been swell. It's been good, man. We are building up for August. Building up for August. Easy, chill. Because look, man, because I have to wake up very early tomorrow because I've got to work from home tomorrow. So I've got to wake up tomorrow morning. But what I'm going to say is I want to leave you guys with this. I still believe Barcelona will win La Liga. If Real Madrid self-destruct, I am building a wing for Real Madrid. And that wing will only be brought down until they win another CL or La Liga, but winning another CL. So Real Madrid, it's on you because if Real Madrid mess this up, they will look like a bunch of complete losers and idiots. And also, what I'm saying is this: August is fast approaching, and I'm always going to be leaving these anecdotes as we build up to August. It's big, it's huge, and I don't want to hear any excuses because I'm also bringing back the hashtag. Hashtag no excuses is coming back. I do not want to hear any excuses about the format. It's cold on halftime. No. You know what it is? You have weeks to prepare. Get prepared right now because it's big. Pep, my eyes are on you. Lewandowski, my eyes are on you. Neymar, my eyes are on you. Christina, Christina.
You said goat sinner.
My, hey, man, let me land, man, let me land.
And we're talking get
Christina.
eliminated
Abraham, my eyes are on you.
Christina, my eyes are on you. Okay?
Leo.
Atalanta, I'll be on you. It is time to deliver because guys, I'm saying right now, with every week when I do when I do these epilogues, I have no idea who's gonna win. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the Champions League because this year it's anybody's, and we have Atletico to time because Atletico said what's up to Liverpool, and Atlanta are in there as well. So
Atletico have been impressive.
as we get closer and closer to Orgreal, only one team will survive. Who will that be? We don't know. But it's called money time.
Juventus.
It's called money time. It's called money time, and you have to cash that check, guys. It's been swell. It's been good. I will see you. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Stay true. Stay
Ala
right.
Madrid,
Stay
Ala
black.
Madrid.
Stay
Ala
black.
Madrid.
Stay black. Stay black. Stay black. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube contents by clicking the join button here. And to view
for
that
any
new
content
content
crack.
crack, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.
Abdullahi!